Good morning, everyone. This is Trisha Shaw coming to you from the Schenectady's Goose Hill Northside neighborhood. I am taking a video this morning for Schenectady Community College's digital culture class. I am a lifelong resident of this neighborhood, and I am starting here this morning on the corner of Beaver Street and Van Rankin Avenue because this is where it all began. Just so you have an idea of where I am standing in the parking lot of the Rand radiator cover, blinds, and more location. So that gives you an idea where I am. But I wanted to talk to you this morning about this little house, which is almost completely covered by these trees here and blocking our view. But this house was built by Breek in the 1870s. And he is the one that owned all the geese that roamed around this hill coming up from the Mohawk River. He also owned a meat market at 31 Ferry Street in the Stockade. And I don't have any proof of this, but I think it makes sense that he was raising the geese for his meat market. Now, he had a wife whose name has been lost to history. However, his wife had two sisters, Hattie and Carrie. Now, Carrie Street is located just one block down from Van Rankin, and Hattie Street is heading down this direction to the south on Van Rankin. Just one more block is Hattie Street. Also, their maiden name was Lang, and Lang Street is located down this direction to the north, where the Avon meat land is. That is the corner of Lang and Van Rankin Avenue. Also further down in that direction are Raymond Street, Florence Street, Alexander Street, and they all were their children. Foster Avenue is another one block down from Carey Street, and that was their son-in-law. Now, who the heck was Van Rankin? Who was Van Rankin that this street was named after? Well, believe it or not, there were no Van Rankins at all in this area. The Van Rankins lived in Vischer Ferry, and this was the road that they obviously took to get to Vischer Ferry. Now, I want to walk down here just a short distance and point out one particular house, which I have an actual memory to share with you from my own personal family history. This home here, the second one, which is just your typical two-family house, very, very common here in the north side and in Schenectady. This is where my mom, Betty Shaw, lived. At that time, it was Betty McShane. She lived in this house when she was doing her nursing training at Ellis Hospital. This was her second year of nursing training. There were a total of 3 beds in that one apartment, and that was for 6 women. 3 of the women worked nights, 3 of the women worked days, and they would change out periodically. Now, just so you know, as I head back to the car, that, big truck. Just so you know, as I head back to the car, I wanted to point out the parameters in general of Goose Hill Northside neighborhood. They have slightly changed over the years to include larger boundaries, but they basically, originally, they went from Lennox Road behind me all the way down to Foster Avenue, Knott Street, located on my left, down to Salina Street. But they have stretched over the years to include all the land down to the Mohawk River, Yates Village, and including, some would call it the Little GE neighborhood, GE Plot neighborhood, which is up around Atoll Road and Randolph Road, that general area. So I want to thank everyone for joining me this morning on the corner of Van Rankin and Beaver Street for a little history. Anybody want to know, take a gander about that big apartment building? Yeah, well, it was one of the very first apartment buildings in this area, that's for sure. And it was built just shortly after Fred Breek moved in here. So my guess, my educated guess would be that that is where his workers lived that worked on the farm with him. One final thing I wanted to mention is the fact that I've done a lot of my research for these videos at the Schenectady Historical Society, located at 32 Washington Avenue in the Stockade. I have used city directories and maps, as well as some of Larry Hart's old Gazette columns. Thank you. Have a good day.